Well, after managing to elude police for 5 solid days, authorities have finally captured the person who they say is responsible for the assassination of United HealthCare CEO Brian Thompson on the streets of Midtown Manhattan.
Ladies and gentlemen,
They got him.
they got him.
Now, this comes after the nation's collective reaction to his death has shocked both legacy media and the executive class. Turns out that American citizens have an extremely negative opinion of how our awful healthcare system operates, because a majority of people have had to deal with it directly, either for themselves or for a loved one. And millions upon millions of people have very personal stories about how our for-profit healthcare industry has destroyed their lives or the lives of someone they know. Quite literally, by the way, because in the search for endless profits and a green line that never stops going up, companies like United HealthCare will deny coverage for patients who need treatments, surgeries, prescriptions, and any number of things that should be covered after you've spent a significant portion of your paycheck to stay covered.
Even if it means that person is
Going to die a pointlessly painful death.
Yeah, it's been a real interesting week. Lots of people sharing their stories.
Yeah.
It happened to me. And then every story is just worse than the last one.
Yeah, there's been some horrific stuff. And lots of doctors writing in and putting their words to it, claiming that, they try their hardest to get these insurance companies to approve treatments and medications that their very sick patients desperately need.
Yeah, they are literally, it is a parasitic industry
that
is not necessary and makes everything harder for everyone else involved.
Yes.
So, obviously, it's not all that shocking when people in this country from all over the political spectrum don't show a whole hell of a lot of sympathy for the CEO of a company who represents the pain and suffering that comes with the unfortunate act of getting injured or sick in America. That's why over the weekend, the shooter was being celebrated, both online and off, with countless memes, fan cams, and people, ironically or not, fawning over him because of his dashing good looks. There was even a healthcare shooter lookalike contest in New York City over the weekend. They're just having lookalike contests there.
It's the latest, for those who didn't get to experience flash mobs in the 2010s, the early 2010s, this is basically the past 2 weeks have been a version of that.
More than a few people showed up, dressed up as the assassin in Washington Square Park.
Yeah.
And just to rub it in, America's internet sleuths, TikTok detectives, and true crime podcast hosts pretty much all basically said, no, we're good actually, when people noticed they were not contributing to any search efforts. Also, Ben Shapiro and a lot of conservative talking heads tried to make content around it. Like, can you believe these radical libs are celebrating this guy's death? And even their own comment sections were like, yeah, it's not really a partisan thing. This is, we've all had horrible experiences with this. And
one of the Ben Shapiro comments was, this just shows how disconnected you are from the reality that a lot of your viewers face.
That is, so there's been...
Because when you have the money and the means and the personal doctors to pay for medical treatment in the United States, it is actually great. It's the struggle that everyone else, 99% of people, have to go through, that certain rich people never get to see, that is bothering the fuck out of people and killing them.
Yeah, it's, every naysayer on social media, like, you're really telling on yourselves by, like, just being like, that's ridiculous. I cannot even possibly put myself in the shoes of anyone celebrating this. And like, well, then you probably had a pretty great life.
Yeah, with no issues affecting any family members or yourself.
Anyway, here's NBC News. I have yet to see a single video that's pounding the drum of we have to find him. And that's unique, said Michael McWhorter, better known as Tizzy Ent on TikTok, where he posts true crime and viral news content for his 6.7 million followers. And in other situations of some kind of blatant violence, I would absolutely be seeing that.
Everyone's like, no, we're good. Don't worry about it. But all of that extra detective, potential crowdsourced work wasn't needed. And the tireless efforts of the...
They were checking every bush.
Yep. The tireless efforts of the NYPD, whose $10 billion yearly budget and access to one of the largest surveillance networks in the world just got them absolutely nowhere.
There were Candy Crush levels to beat.
Yes. Why am I up here on street level trying to solve a crime when I can be down there in the subways next to the turnstiles and playing Candy Crush?
Yeah. Also, I'm really hungry. Where's the nearest Shake Shack? Let's all go.
Though it was kind of funny seeing video footage from over the weekend where the NYPD performed a very thorough search, quote unquote, of Central Park, by which we mean they all just kind of walked around, hung out, leaned over at some point to...
Just really exaggerated, just like, all right, I'm visually inspecting this bush here.
Yeah.
All right,
it's past the visual inspection.
clear.
And this is all while almost certainly billing the city for a significant amount of overtime pay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also while Eric Adams was just talking out of his ass.
Yeah.
Just straight up lying, because like this was perfect for him, because it's finally a chance to get a win. And in any case, a great distraction from the fact that he is extremely corrupt.
Oh, yeah.
And possibly going to jail at some point. But yeah, he was just straight up like lying about like what information they had. And,
Yeah, the whole
like,
weekend was filled with the NYPD basically putting out press releases that said he could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Our guess is as good as yours. And there was like an image that someone put out where it was like the suspect's possible locations or whereabouts, and it was just a dot over New York City and then just arrows extending every direction away from it. They're saying he left the city.
Yeah, and when I said, ladies and gentlemen, they got him, the NYPD did
No,
not
a
get him.
McDonald's worker got it.
Yeah, some old man or woman at a
Some
McDonald's.
busybody.
Yeah, some Karen.
Yeah.
The ultimate Karen, the final boss of Karens.
Yeah.
Anyway, a backpack was recovered at one point. Turns out it was filled with a bunch of Monopoly money, which is a nice touch. None of that mattered though, because the person who finally led police to the healthcare assassin was just some busybody down at an Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's location, where the guy showed up wearing a similar outfit with a backpack. He was also carrying the weapon used in the crime on him, which is I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
Obviously suspicious. It would lead many to believe that he maybe wanted to get caught. Maybe he figured he would have gotten caught immediately and was just like,
Now no one's
This
going to
is-
read my
yeah.
manifesto.
damn, I should just turn myself in.
But I don't
This
want
is-
to do that. Instead, I'm going
yeah.
to go to the second corporate fast food place that exposes my identity. Because the first one was Starbucks,
Yeah.
and then it was McDonald's. And if this guy had been following any boycotts, it would have been safe. But
That's true.
Turns out, as we'll get to, because we haven't even revealed his name yet. We've been teasing the entire time. But as it turns out, this guy, politics all over the place, but very much toward the libertarian right, tech,
He's
techno-fascist kind of.
sort of just what you expect from your average mid to late 20s single dude who doesn't have any firm beliefs or principles and just kind of listens to a lot of podcasts and reads a lot of books.
And until something directly affected his quality of life, in which radicalized him, which this has gone back. These happen all the times where this guy specifically isn't like I don't want to say he's a member of the Republican Party or whatever. I'm just saying members of the Republican Party in particular really do finally change their tunes when they're faced with the reality that their constituents have been facing for decades. You see them come around on certain things, like
They're
when
not
they have a gay or lesbian daughter, someone in their family, or someone gets hurt or injured and can't afford medical care.
Yeah, they're not good at the whole empathy thing.
Until it happens to them.
But if something happens to them personally, then it's like, oh, fuck. This is fucked up. We should do something about this. Anyways, whether he wanted to get caught or not, the police have arrested the suspect, who they have identified as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione.
Hey!
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. That's Chuck Mangione. I don't know if they're related or not,
Probably not.
but just the funniest possible name for this assassin to have.
Yeah, I nearly spit out my drink when I saw the news, and then immediately, the first thing I saw when I opened Blue Sky was a post from Brendel Board, who said, "You're laughing. America's greatest criminal is named Matthew Spaghetti, and you're laughing." I mean, look, however you feel about what this guy did or didn't do, it's a beautiful Italian-American name.
Yeah. Also, it sounds like it's the name of the Luigi's Mansion game in the original Italian.
Yeah.
In America, it's Luigi's Mansion, but back in Italy, it's Luigi's Mangione.
It's like a name that you would come up with if you were a hack writer and you were like, okay, the suspect is an Italian-American.
Yeah. How do we drive home?
The fact that he's Italian.
He's very Italian.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to more of the reactions and memes regarding this guy, but first it's time for everyone in the world to snoop around. Take a look into this guy's digital footprint to get an idea of what was going through his head and what a footprint he left.
Yeah.
Turns out, just like everyone else who has tried an assassination this year, his politics and worldview are pretty incoherent. A lot of conflicting viewpoints and beliefs, but in general, yeah, he seems to be a very well-educated dude who comes from a decently well-off family, who retweets and responded to a bunch of anti-woke memes and viewpoints. He did some coding on Civilization 6.
Elliot's favorite game.
Yeah.
What did Elliot know, and when did he know it?
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, Elliot looked the other way and kept playing.
He worked as a data engineer for TrueCar, and at one point he appears to have injured his back so badly that he was brought face to face with the American healthcare system, which set him on the path that led him to the CEO of United Healthcare the morning of their big Investors Day conference.
And I have no idea if this played into it, but people did point out the fact that he is 26, and that is the year you get kicked off your parents' plan.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
This sucks. Yeah.
And by the way, fucking 10 years ago, or a little bit more than 10 years ago, you got kicked off your parents' plan at 18.
Yeah. You're an adult.
Yeah.
Figure it out. But yeah, he posted, he had x-ray photos on a couple of his social
Screws in
profiles,
his
and
back.
yeah, it looked like a very serious operation.
Especially for someone who is young and appears to be extremely physically active.
Yeah.
This is a debilitating
Dude
injury.
was jacked, is jacked, and also on his Goodreads profile, he had read and rated multiple books on dealing with severe back pain, some of which he did not like. Gave it 2 stars. Nope, not helpful. But some of which he liked a little bit more. But yeah, if there were any doubt regarding this guy's motivations, he was apparently in possession of a manifesto that police say showed contempt for corporate America, healthcare providers in particular. And hopefully someday we get to read that manifesto.
It's already coming out in parts, but I will say that much like a video that was released on Monday, there are a lot of fake things going around.
Yeah.
There's a fake manifesto. Ken Klippenstein has already...
There's a fake YouTube channel.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So be wary out there. Not all of it's real. We tried to find as much real stuff as possible for this episode. So here you go with more on exactly who this guy is. Here is NPR. Police in Altoona, Pennsylvania have arrested 26-year-old Luigi Mangione in connection with the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione stood for a preliminary arraignment at the Blair County Courthouse on Monday evening, where he faced 5 charges, including illegal possession of a firearm and forgery. Police say he was found with a 3D printed ghost gun believed to have been used in the killing, as well as a fake ID and a handwritten 3-page document indicating his motivation. The 26-year-old fitness enthusiast had graduated as valedictorian of Baltimore's private Gilman School and went on to attend the University of Pennsylvania, where he received both bachelor's and master's degrees in computer science, with a focus on artificial intelligence. Law enforcement officials say he does not have any known criminal history. On social media, Mangione discussed topics like artificial intelligence, his religious agnosticism, and his belief that porn should be regulated no less than alcohol, cigarettes, and travel. On X, he retweeted messages decrying the woke mind virus and appeared supportive of Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, 2 tech billionaires who helped thrust Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to their 2024 election victory. Views that seemingly put him at odds with the mythos of a Robin Hood type figure on a rampage against the wealthy.
Yeah, but
it doesn't put him at odds with a lot of people who just assumed that he was pissed off the healthcare industry.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not like this guy was just targeting just rich people.
Right.
He clearly had a target for a reason, and that was a healthcare executive, not some random billionaire.
Also, like, a lot of the things about this guy suck, but like that sounds like a very, very average dude in his mid-20s.
Above average based on his schooling, but yes.
Well, yeah, but just,
as far as
just in
activities,
terms of like, you know, his opinions on the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's really all that remarkable. Like, it doesn't seem like he was like alt-right or
26.
fashy.
That's around the time the frontal lobe finally stops maturing in men.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's also been discussion that he may have had some mental health break at some point in the last like 6 months. People found messages, like people found his Twitter account, and then they found mentions of his Twitter account.
People wondering where he is.
Yeah, people
his
being
family
like,
said
hey,
he was estranged for a little while.
Yeah, there was a chain of messages from some guy being like, hey, like you're supposed to be in my like my wedding party.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I need you to do work, and I cannot get a hold of you. No one can get a hold of you. Your family can't even get a hold of you. We're worried about
Well,
you.
it does sound like the back injury was somewhat recent, so that could have caused a huge. What I'm saying is, this guy, he was obviously, and still at this point is, in great shape, young college graduate, working, already has a job, and then suffers a debilitating back injury.
Yeah.
It's a complete divergence from a lifestyle you were living. So it explains a lot of why he was potentially acting this way. But as far as the motive itself, his social media accounts indicated that, yeah, he was suffering from a back injury and was reading multiple books about recovery. So like we said, that seems to have been what sparked all of this. Now, quotes from the manifesto were being released in very small parts at the time that we filmed this, but it does seem pretty clear from what's been released so far that this was not only targeted, but that this dude acted in what he believed to be the best interests of the country. From CNN, who had the most detailed information regarding the official clips from the manifesto at the time that we filmed this, a multi-paged handwritten document was also recovered from the suspect when he was arrested, according to Kenny. It seemed that the man has some ill will towards corporate America, Kenny said. In the document, the suspect rails against the healthcare industry and suggested that violence is the answer. A police official who had seen the document told CNN. Two quotes in the document include, "These parasites had it coming," and "I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done," an official said.
So the latest, as of when we filmed, was that Luigi Mangione was charged with 5 charges, including forgery, carrying a firearm without a license, possessing instruments of a crime, and fake identification. Also murder. He's being held without bail. He hasn't entered a plea. Many of the shooter's social media accounts have been scrubbed from the internet, but not before plenty of people downloaded his Twitter profile and screenshotted posts from his other profiles, including LinkedIn, Facebook, Goodreads, and Instagram. A YouTube channel that was alleged to belong to the shooter uploaded a video on Monday that appeared to be a kill switch video, which was only scheduled to go live after the shooter was apprehended. This was outed as a fake, and people found the shooter's actual account, which hadn't been active for several months. So yeah, if you see the shooter post-arrest video making the rounds, it's a fake.
Yeah, as are most of the manifestos that you're reading.
Yeah. The channel was removed for violating YouTube's impersonation policies after the channel name and handle were updated on Monday, following news of Mangione's arrest to appear as if it belonged to the suspect. That channel on Monday posted a cryptic countdown video that said, "If you see this, I'm already under arrest."
Also, from their ongoing coverage of the story, CNN spoke to Luigi Mangione's recent roommate, who said it was unfathomable that his former roommate would do this, but also confirmed that he had been suffering from a debilitating injury. RJ Martin said the two, who lived together in a co-living and co-working community in Hawaii, weren't just roommates, they were friends. He was a very thoughtful person, communicated really well, was friendly, had good relationships with everyone. He was even, in some ways, a bit of a leader, Martin said. When I first interviewed him before he moved in, I remember he said he had a back issue and he was hoping to get stronger in Hawaii. Martin said Mangione took a basic surf lesson that ended up leaving him in bed for about a week and that it was really traumatic and difficult. Martin also said Mangione had surgery earlier this year that left him with screws in his body. He sent me the x-rays, Martin said. It looked heinous, with just giant screws going into his spine. After that, he called me once. I didn't pick up. The communication between the two kind of fizzled out after that. Martin said Mangione never talked about guns, never once talked about violence. He was absolutely not a violent person, as far as I could tell, Martin said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried to do something fun, went for a little surf, and was bedridden for a week. So all adds up.
Meanwhile, the Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's location where the shooter was apprehended has been inundated with 1-star reviews after one of their employees recognized the shooter and called the police. 1 star! This location has rats in the kitchen that will make you sick, and your insurance isn't going to cover it.
They got rats back there.
You know.
They're tattling.
As for the other posts online, look, I mean, we're not going to be able to cover them all because this story has caused an event on social media that hasn't been rivaled since that submarine imploded while diving down to the Titanic. But here's a few of the ones that stood out once the shooter was captured, including this first one, which mentions the United Healthcare shooter's actual nickname, the Claims Adjuster.
Yeah, the internet really crowdsourced that one and came out on top.
Yeah.
Here you go. Kim Kelly says, grappling with the implications of the claims adjuster turning out to be a hot Italian tech bro gym rat who went to Penn, seems to have had a pretty gnarly back injury, retweets anti-woke nonsense, and has read not one, but 2 books by Steve-O.
Yeah, and one of the books by Steve-O was listed on his Goodreads as having been read twice.
Wow.
He
Damn.
liked it so, it was so nice, he read it twice.
Yeah.
Spaghetti policy analyst said, I think Luigi Mangione rating the Unabomber's Manifesto a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads is so funny. It's like, yeah, that was pretty good, but I could do better.
Well, we'll have to wait and see his manifesto afterwards. But Hunter Harris said, he's hot as shit. You must acquit. Ugh.
Sweet Helenade said, well, actually, Luigi Mangione was in LA with me all last week, so there's no way. Sorry, guys. Try again.
Pop Crave.
Oh, good.
Pop Crave posted, Dave Franco and Ryan Murphy are trending after the United Healthcare CEO assassin suspect was ID'd as Luigi Mangione.
Yeah. WAP Goblin said, the last thing Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, saw, and it's an image of Luigi from the Mario Brothers holding a gun.
Yep. Then Tyler Austin Harper, looking forward to the predictable characters finding a way to use the Ivy League educated, Lex Fridman listening, Peter Thiel standing computer science major who shot the healthcare CEO as a justification for defunding Marxist humanities departments at public universities.
Yep. Jess Dweck said, this means there's a Waluigi Mangione who works in private equity.
Yes, the existence of Luigi Mangione, that would lead you to believe that there is a Waluigi Mangione out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Juniper posted the mugshot and added, most photogenic guy award. So plenty of people noticed that inexplicably, the shooter during the mugshot appeared to have been forced to wear multiple jackets. The menswear guy, Derek Guy, he commented with a crying emoji saying, they made him put all the jackets on.
Just had to be sure.
Everyone loves those jackets. Put all of them on.
Steal his look.
The American people don't want to see you in a normal t-shirt.
That backpack that he wore is like sold out. People were like, damn, that's a nice backpack.
Yeah. They should stuff it with Monopoly money when they ship it.
Jared Skolnick said, what is the charge? Eating a meal? Eating a succulent McDonald's meal? This is Democracy Manifest.
Yeah, and from Lauren Lavin, we are finally on the verge of learning once and for all if Italians are white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that last comment leads us into the final parts of this, because on the day that Luigi Mangione was captured, another vigilante who killed a homeless man in a subway car in the middle of the day in front of a bunch of people, many of whom were like, hey, stop.
Please, he's dying.
You're going to kill that man, was acquitted by a jury of his peers. And all of this playing out at the same time has really given people a much clearer picture of how the right likes to say that this assassination is absolutely appalling, while at the same time cheering for people like Daniel Penny and Kyle Rittenhouse.
There's clearly a
who went
two-tier
out of their
justice
way
system.
to kill someone when other options were definitely available. It becomes even more blatant when you witness the absolute lack of self-awareness in this next clip from Fox News host Laura Ingraham, where she, in one breath, talks about people vocally supporting the healthcare shooter, and seconds later pitches to what appears to be an uplifting story about the subway chokehold guy getting acquitted. It is so obvious that it's bizarre. Here you go.
The Instagram posts from nutbag people, which I was sent in the commercial break earlier, crazy. Like, he's cute, and people celebrating this. This is a sickness. Honestly, it's so disappointing, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Gentlemen, thank you so much. And up next, the other big news out of New York, Daniel Penny. A lot of people think he's a hero, and tonight he's not guilty. My take next.
Okay, well, we somehow have more news for you coming up in just a minute. But first, we're going to thank today's sponsors for supporting the show, starting with Henson Shaving. If you were born after 1970, there is a very good chance that your first razor was a multi-blade razor. These razors have been the status quo for over half a century, but where has that gotten us? According to a recent study, 2/3 of men expect some irritation when they shave. And now, this next one is what really makes us upset. Over 2 billion plastic razors enter the landfill each year in the US alone. This is why Henson Shaving wants to change the shaving industry. Not through gimmicks like subscriptions or moisturizing strips, but through groundbreaking research on the impact that shaving has on your skin. When Henson looked at other razors, they noticed a consistent lack of blade support. Basically that the blades have too much bend or flex. Think of anything else that you'd cut with a kitchen knife, scissors, etc. You would not want that blade that you use to be moving, because you'd have less control. Henson's razors are designed to hold the blade so that there is less bend and less wobble.
Henson makes their razors in their aerospace machine shop in Canada that also made parts for a Mars rover and the International Space Station. Henson's machinists are exceptional at manufacturing, and that level of precision is one of the big reasons their razor is so much gentler on your skin. They've made it so the blade extends only 0.0013 inches past the shave plane of the razor. That's less than the thickness of a human hair. Plus, the Henson razor works with standard dual-edged blades that cost less than 10 cents each. Once you own a Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace the blades. The razor itself is made of aluminum, and there is no plastic. There's also no plastic in Henson's packaging. This is a great razor.
Yeah.
You're working with a tool here. If you switch directly from a plastic razor to the Henson razor,
Yeah,
you're like, okay.
You'll never go back.
All right.
Yeah, once you have the real shave, it's hard to go back to what you're used to.
The precision, the gentleness.
Yeah.
You're going to like this razor. Visit hensonshaving.com/itdaily to pick the razor for you and use code TODAYDAILY to get a free shave cream with your razor. Just make sure to add it to your cart. That's a free Henson shave cream when you head to hensonshaving.com/todaydaily and use code TODAYDAILY at checkout.
Now, this episode is also sponsored by HealthCare. Are you still using that pan that you've had since college?
Ew.
It's time for a serious upgrade for yourself or for a loved one this holiday season, and luckily, HealthCare has quality cookware that will last you a lifetime. With HealthCare's non-stick and stainless steel hybrid technology, not only will your meals likely taste better, cleanup will be so much easier. Don't blow it again this year with socks and ugly sweaters. Say, I love you, with the gift of HealthCare, even though you're really thinking that doing the dishes will be so much easier for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's right. HealthCare also has a lifetime warranty, and these are literally the best set of pots and pans that you will ever buy, so have no fear.
HealthCare's 6-piece set is the perfect starter bundle to enjoy the incredible versatility of their products. The set features 6 of their most popular pots and pans with an accompanying lid that can handle all of your holiday cooking needs. Your kitchen will never be the same, in a good way. Say goodbye to sticking, burning, and uneven cooking, and hello to perfection with every dish. Whether you're a seasoned chef or just starting to explore your passion for cooking, HealthCare empowers you to unleash your creativity and culinary skills with confidence. I've always wanted a wok.
Oh,
now
yeah.
I finally got a wok.
Yeah, are you tossing rice up into the air like a pro
baby.
yet?
Oh, baby. I'm throwing
Yeah.
shrimp at people. Hey.
Just take a picture and look like a surf wave, a break.
But
Yeah.
these pots and pans cook very evenly. The hexagons distribute the heat. You don't have to turn it all the way up. You can actually keep
Gas
the heat
stove,
kinda
electric
low.
stove, whatever works.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very high quality cookware. Believe me. So for a limited time, you can shop HealthCare's biggest sale of the year and save up to 42% off. Go to HealthCare.com/itdaily. Get the best deal of the year and support our show at HeXCLAD.com/itdaily.
All right, back to the news now, and for some potentially good news on the whole Fox News front, or at least news that will make things far more interesting for their future as a network. A commissioner in Nevada, we talked about the story a couple weeks ago. He's trying to alter his final testament so that control goes more to Lachlan,
Yeah, the good son.
his best son, his best boy, so that he can keep running Fox News as the hyper-conservative
It's
outlet that it is.
currently, News Corp is currently in like a trust.
Yes, a
that
trust,
is
that's what it
equally controlled by all of his children. But yeah, he's trying to change that so the more Libby ones don't have any influence.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner in Nevada has rejected Rupert Murdoch's bid to amend an irrevocable trust, which, yeah, he was trying to do to make sure that media organization would go to his best boy, Lachlan. It is playing out exactly like the plot of a certain HBO show.
Well, there's also, did you see this news where apparently one of the multiple Murdoch kids saw an episode in the final season of Succession, which deals with, what happens in a succession situation, and especially when there's no clear plan in place. And they watched that and they were like, oh, we shouldn't let that happen. That would be
Nope.
really fucking embarrassing for us. We should have a protocol in place.
Yeah.
So yeah, the commissioner said, no take backsies. And as of right now, that means that whenever the 93-year-old Rupert Murdoch bites the dust, the media empire will be split evenly among 4 of his children, which is causing a lot of uncertainty around the Fox News offices. Though the idea that the direction and messaging of the brand shifting to something less conservative, it's almost certainly a pipe dream. The money is in what they're doing right now. Regardless, here's the New York Times with more on the decision.
The commissioner, Edmund J. Gorman Jr., concluded in a decision filed on Saturday that the father and son, who is the head of Fox News and News Corp, had acted in bad faith in their effort to amend the irrevocable trust, which divides control of the company equally among Mr. Murdoch's 4 oldest children, Lachlan, James, Elizabeth, and Prudence, after his death. The ruling was at times scathing. At one point in his 96-page opinion, Mr. Gorman characterizes the plan to change the trust as a carefully crafted charade to permanently cement Lachlan Murdoch's executive roles inside the empire, regardless of the impact such control would have over the companies or the beneficiaries of the family trust. In a statement, James, Elizabeth, and Prudence said, "We welcome Commissioner Gorman's decision and hope that we can move beyond this litigation to focus on strengthening and rebuilding relationships among all family members." Seems
I'm
like
sure
they're
they'll
not
be able
very
to
happy.
patch this all up.
Yeah, it's going to be
Water under the bridge.
It was. I'm sure it was a great Thanksgiving. It's going to be an even better Christmas.
Yeah. So their reporting continues. They add a bit more context to the battle of control of Fox News, saying, "The battle over the family trust is not about money. Mr. Murdoch is not seeking to diminish any of his children's financial stakes in the company, but rather about future control of the world's most powerful conservative media empire, which includes Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, and major newspapers and television outlets in Australia and Britain. Mr. Murdoch, now 93, has long intended to bequeath these sprawling media conglomerates to his children, much as his own father had passed on his vastly smaller media company to Mr. Murdoch and his sisters. But he is also determined to preserve the right-wing bent of his empire, and reconciling these two desires has become a growing challenge for him." Well, we certainly hope for nothing but the worst for Mr. Murdoch and his son. But like we said, it's highly unlikely that Fox News will ever change, especially now that Trump's been reelected.
Yeah.
They've been kind of vindicated once again.
Yep. And while we're briefly on the topic of the incoming Trump administration, we should probably point out that, not that it matters anymore, but multiple Nobel Prize-winning laureates are urging U.S. senators to please, for the sake of humanity, please do not confirm Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Food and Drug Administration.
Sounds like a bunch of elites trying to stop America from finding out the truth about
Fluoride.
milk and ivermectin.
In a letter obtained by the New York Times, 75 Nobel Prize winners joined together to protest this nomination. And here's more from the reporting. The letter, obtained by the New York Times, marks the first time in recent memory that Nobel laureates have banded together against a cabinet choice, according to Richard Roberts, winner of the 1993 Nobel in Physiology or Medicine, who helped draft the letter. "The group tries to stay out of politics whenever possible," he said, "but the confirmation of Mr. Kennedy, a staunch critic of mainstream medicine who has been hostile to the scientists and agencies he would oversee, is a threat that the Nobel laureates could not ignore," Dr. Roberts said. "These political attacks on science are very damaging," he said. "You have to stand up and protect it." The laureates questioned whether Mr. Kennedy, who they say has a lack of credentials in medicine, science, or administration, was fit to lead the department responsible for protecting public health and funding biomedical research.
Placing Mr. Kennedy in charge of DHHS would put the public's health in jeopardy and undermine America's global leadership in the health sciences, the letter warned. If confirmed, Mr. Kennedy's opposition to well-established public health tools like vaccines and the fluoridation of drinking water would pose a risk to the country's well-being, the letter said. The laureates decried Mr. Kennedy's promotion of conspiracy theories. Mr. Kennedy has falsely linked vaccines to autism, rejected established science showing that HIV causes AIDS, and suggested without evidence that the coronavirus targeted and spared certain ethnic groups. The laureates also noted that Mr. Kennedy has been a belligerent critic of the agencies that would fall under his purview, including the Food and Drug Administration, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Institutes of Health. The leader of DHHS should continue to nurture and improve, not to threaten, these important and highly respected institutions and their employees, the letter said. What did he say about HIV? I'd like to know more.
That came up when he was running for president, but yeah, I can't remember what he said about
I had forgotten that he did say that, different ethnicities were getting coronavirus.
What did he say? Like the Ashkenazi Jews were the ones that were surviving the most or something?
Yeah.
It was something like that.
Which a lot of people were just like, okay, then the Jews made the coronavirus.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't helping the situation.
Yeah.
Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Trump he wants to pick people that are basically just influencers.
Yeah.
And RFK.
Plus, he's very loyal.
Yeah.
And he's a Kennedy. My own Kennedy. My very own Kennedy.
Just don't open that mouth, Robert. Don't open. It's like John Bolton's mustache. People just they can't look past it. Anyways, finally today, an American tried to do some American shit, got caught, and then tried to play dumb until her internet search history exposed the fact that she did, in fact, intentionally try to sneak a gold-plated firearm into another country where she would be attending clown college, despite knowing that it was illegal to smuggle a gun into the country.
I thought this was America. It's not.
Oh, well, this is a gag gun. Yeah. It's for clown
it
college.
Says bang when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, or
Shoots a little bit of water.
It squirts water out. I didn't say ghost gun. I said gag gun.
Gag gun.
If only it was a squirt gun or something like that, she could have claimed it was an elaborate bit, but it wasn't. It was a real gold-plated gun. Now she's going to prison. Here's The Guardian with more and some great quotes from the case. A U.S. woman who flew to Australia with a gold-plated pistol in her luggage has been sentenced to a year in jail, despite claiming she brought it with her for protection. Liliana Goodson pleaded guilty to charges of illegally importing an unauthorized firearm and illegally importing ammunition. On Monday, the 30-year-old was sentenced in Sydney's Downing Centre local court to the 12-month jail term, of which 4 months will be served in full-time custody.
This person really is a clown because, like, what was the thinking here? Like, they're just not going to notice a gun in your luggage?
Well, they won't know what it looks like because this isn't America.
Yeah, they've never seen one before.
Also, I need
And
this
if they
to protect
ask, I'll
me.
just be like, whoops, my bad. Anyway, let me take that.
And it's, by the way, it was for protection against what? Our spiders and snakes?
Emus. They won the
there you
war,
go.
but no, they're not going to win the second one.
Yeah.
She was initially arrested at Sydney Airport in April 2023 after customs officers uncovered the 24-karat gold-plated pistol worth about $3,000 in her luggage. The court was previously told she had come to Australia to attend clown school and claimed she brought the gun for protection. Goodson had searched online whether she was allowed to bring the weapon into Australia, despite telling officers at the time she forgot she had it with her. When asked at the airport if she was carrying any prohibited items with her, Goodson claimed she was not, the court was told. What about the gun in your bag? She was asked by a customs officer. Goodson replied, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. A review of Goodson's phone revealed she had searched online, can I have a gun in my suitcase? And set a calendar entry with a note reminding her to put gun in suitcase.
Mr. Officer, please don't look at my phone. Also, another reminder
Officer,
to
that was opposite day. That was a reminder to take gun out of suitcase.
Yeah, also a good reminder that if you are going to run into law enforcement or cross international borders or whatever, and you do want to be safe, turn off Face ID.
Yeah.
Because
they like checking your phone.
That can be used to unlock your phone. Biometrics can be used, so there you go.
Goodson told police she was actually scared of shooting the gun and hoped simply producing it would be enough to deter potential threats. If that didn't do it, I would probably just pistol whip. Goodson was quoted as having said,
then why bring the ammunition?
Well, you know, just to have it.
Yeah.
When asked where she planned to store the gun while she was in Australia, she indicated under a vehicle's passenger seat, the court was told.
Like you do in America.
Yeah, you just, whatever, who cares? Yeah, this is American values really clashing with the values of the entire rest of the world here.
Yeah.
Like, what's the big deal? It's just a gun. Everyone has one.
Also,
I don't know how to use it, but you gotta have a gun.
Yeah, you're issued one in my country.
Yeah, because what if someone else has
Also,
a
every
gun?
other country in the world right now seeing the news about the healthcare thing, reigniting the constant, just baffling. People are constantly confused when they learn about the American healthcare system.
Yeah. They're always like, oh, well, that sounds bad, but like, hey, at least you got this. And we're like, no, we don't have that either.
No, and we get taxed, relatively higher than you actually, and we get nothing in return.
Yeah, no, we do pay for healthcare with our taxes. It's just other people's healthcare, not for us. It's old people and poor people that jump through an insane amount of hoops, and also veterans.
Yeah.
They're allowed to get healthcare. They earned it.
Yes.
But not me. I deserve nothing.
And also, their healthcare sucks too.
Yeah.
It's a great country we have.
Is that every couple of years over in like Britain, they're like, the Conservative Party tries to privatize the NHS a little bit, and then they'll go and like interview just random blokes on the street, and they're like, yeah, I mean, American healthcare is supposed to be great, right? And they're like, no, it's not.
Yeah. That the biggest thing during the Obama years when he was passing the Affordable Care Act was the claim that every other country on earth had death panels that would...
Your insurance company has death panels.
That's what they're already doing to you. But yeah, it was pitched as though like you stand before a jury who says...
The verdict is you will die.
Yeah. Meanwhile, American healthcare companies do that with paperwork, with the stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
Already. And actually worse than before.
Yeah, they'll just deny your claim, and they won't even do it. An AI that they designed so they wouldn't have to pay actual humans to look at your claim will do it, even if it has like a 90% failure rate. And it's on you to
But don't worry,
just keep the issue going, I guess.
We're going to use that same AI to identify the shooter in the healthcare assassination.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. We will be back with some tech news related stuff. And of course, we have other episodes for you to watch. But first, it is the last couple of days that you can get these. I'm
order
serious.
these dolls. They're going quick.
Soon enough, they'll be gone forever. So yes, it's the last couple of days to buy these. We'll have a link in the description below. Please buy our dolls. And make sure before you go to leave a like on the video. It really, really helps this channel grow. Please take a second and leave a like on the video. Also, if you want to talk about anything we spoke about today, I'm sure there's a lot of opinions out there. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. And of course, watch our most recent videos, which are popping up now. We got the Village People, who are not gay.
Not gay.
And the YMCA is not a gay anthem.
It's a straight anthem.
I'm beginning to think that they made him say that in anticipation that the Village People or some form of it is going to perform at the inauguration.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Anyways, that video is popping up there now. Watch that. It's an episode of Weekly Weird News. We also have an episode of News Dump for you to watch, and we will be back soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.